Guys, welcome back to the channel. It's the Woman of the Father. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. So guys, this is not going to be a long video. I just want to come on here, guys, and touch bases of what's going on. So today is October the 1st. Today is the first day of the Feast of Trumpets. It started today, October 1st. We've been on my channel for a while. We all know, if you Google it and look it up, it say September was the day of the Feast of Trumpets. No, if we're reading directly from the Bible, the Father said the Feast of Trumpets is in the 7th month. Okay, the 7th month. If you count from April to October, that's the 7th month. You count from January to the 7th month, that's July. That's not correct. And even it's another calendar. I think it's called the Georgians calendar. They say it starts between the New Year starts between March and April. Anything that's of confusion is of the devil, because the New Year should state the month, not March or April. So if we going from April, which is the New Year, April Fools, they fooled all of us. April 1st is the beginning of the New Year, because that's when the crops replenish itself, the earth replenishes itself, things grow, things, of the earth become new. And that makes it the New Year, not the winter when everything is dead, nothing, no harvest, nothing like that. So the beginning of the new year is in April, y'all. And that in April starts one of the holy holidays, which is the Passover, okay? And so, but today we are focusing on the Feast of Trumpets, okay? And so basically, let's read real quick from Leviticus 23:23, okay? And it states, and the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the people of Israel. I'm sorry, I'm taking stuff out. Speak to the people of Israel, saying that in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, you shall observe a solemn rest, a day of solemn rest, a memorial proclaimed with the blast of trumpets, a holy convocation. You shall not do ordinary work, and you shall present a food of offering to the Father. And the Lord spoke, saying, now on the 10th day. So today is the first day. He said we should just be keeping this day. He said, speak to the people of Israel, saying, in the 7th month of the first day, which is October 1st, the day of the month, you shall observe a day of solemn rest. So basically what I've been doing all day, guys, is resting, no working. I didn't have to work today. I've just been literally just reading my Bible, learning more about the Feast of Trumpets, just indulging myself in different types of videos and seeing how people celebrate this day, because like I said, it's new to me, it's new to you. And so I do want to let y'all know also that if you don't get everything right on the Feast of Trumpets, the Father will forgive you, because it's new to all of us. And so we got to get in the swing of things. So I know for today, the first day of it all, is a day of solemn rest. And a memorial proclaim a blast of trumpets. If you've been seeing my videos earlier, I posted videos of blasting of the trumpets. The shofar, to be exact, is the trumpet that's supposed to be blown on the Feast of Trumpets, okay? And so it's a memorial proclaim, a blast of trumpets, a holy convocation. You shall do no ordinary work, and you shall present a food of offering to the Father. And the Father spoke. So the food of offering, you want to offer to the Father whatever it is that you want to just offer up to him on this day. Say for instance, you want to just offer steak, okay? I'm not for sure if you're supposed to cook and eat it. I'm really just, it's new to me, but offering food up to the Most High on this day, okay? Now on the 10th day of this 7th month is a day of atonement. It shall be for a time of holy convocation, and you shall afflict yourselves and present a food offering. Hold on, you should work, hold on, and present a food offering to the Father. So in the same month, the same month, so we got the first, which is today. You're supposed to be resting. You're supposed to be proclaiming and the blasting of the shofar trumpet. On the 10th day of this same month, is a day that is the day of the atonement, okay? And on that day, it shall be for your time of holy conviction. You shall afflict yourselves and present food offerings to the Father. So basically, it's a day of afflicting yourself, repenting, forgiving people that you did things to throughout the year, just cleansing up your energy, taking a spiritual bath, just afflicting yourself, repenting, praying, and anything that you usually do just on that day, don't do none of that stuff. Save that day as a straight Sabbath day, okay? The day of anointment to anoint yourself in front of the Father, to repent, to read the Bible, learn more about this Feast of Trumpets, okay? So on that 10th day of this month, you shall be it shall be kept as a holy convocation, and you shall afflict yourselves and present food offerings to the Father. So on that day also, you want to offer up some food to the Father. Maybe you want to do chicken, and I'm not for sure when it comes to offering. Should you cook it and eat it? I'm not for sure. Or should you just burn it? I'm not for sure. That's why I said I'm new into this, so don't quote me on some of this stuff. But I'm thinking it's, 'cause it don't say nothing about fasting, so I don't know for sure. But it do say present a food offering to the Father. And you shall not do any work on that very day, for the day of anointment, atonement, to make atonement for you be for the Father your Savior. For whosoever is not afflicted on this very day shall be cut off from his people. So on this very day, the 10th of October, if you're not afflicting yourselves, if you're not repenting, if you're not cleansing yourself, if you're not like fasting and doing certain things within that 10th, on that 10th day, then you shall be cut off from your people. And you should do any work. You should not do any work. It is a statute forever throughout the generations in your dwelling places. It shall be for you the Sabbath of Solomon rest, and you shall afflict yourselves. And on the 9th day of the month, beginning for evening to evening, shall be kept your Sabbath. Okay, so basically they saying on the 9th, it starts on the 9th at evening to the 10th at evening should be the day that you should be keeping, okay? And inflicting yourself and keeping it your Sabbath. You should keep you sh- hold on. Evening you shall keep your Sabbath. And the Father spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the people of Israel, saying, on the 15th day of the same month, of this 7th month, and for 7 days is the Feast of Booths to the Father. So the Feast of Booths, guys, it starts from the 15th. It starts from the 15th and 7 days thereafter. You might as well say 8 days after, okay? It's the Feast of Booths. And basically the Feast of Booths is basically on the first day, which is the 15th, and that last day, which is the 23rd, is the solemn days of rest. You should be resting on them days, but throughout between those days, you should be celebrating before the Father. If you've been reading the book of Leviticus, you knew you supposed to already gather your crops of the land. So like apples, oranges, honey, stuff like that. But the main things you should be gathering is like the brook of willow trees and stuff. We're gonna get to that. Okay. So yeah, so on the 15th of the same month, y'all, we're supposed to keep the Feast of Booths. Basically, it's the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay. On the first day, you shall be a holy convocation. You shall do nothing. You should do any ordinary work. For 7 days you shall present food offerings to the Father. On the 8th day you shall hold a holy convocation and present food offerings to the Father. It is a solemn assembly You shall not do no ordinary work. These are the appointed feasts of the Father, which you shall proclaim as times of holy convulsions, for presenting to the Father food offerings, burnt offerings, grain offerings, sacrifices, and drink offerings from offerings, each on its proper day. Besides the Father's Sabbath, and besides your gifts, and besides your vow offerings, and besides your free willing offerings which you give to the Father. On the 15th day of the seventh month, you of the seventh month, when you have gathered in all the produce of the land, you shall celebrate the feast of the Father 7 days on. The first day shall be Solomon rest. On the eighth day shall be Solomon rest. And you shall take on the first day the fruit of splendor trees, branches of palm trees, and boughs of leafy trees, and willows of the brook. And you shall rejoice before the Father for 7 days. So, like I said, like before next, because next year is going to count for all of us. This year we get a little past because we just learned about it. But next year, before October the 15th, you still got time if you can. Go to Walmart, go to somewhere, Amazon, order these things that you can order, get what you can get. As far as like the fruit of splendor trees, branches of palm trees, and boughs of leafy trees, okay, and willows of the brooks. So basically, you can find um, the fruit of splendor trees. It's like a lemon. It looked like a lemon, but it's not. It got like little like. I'm gonna have to put a picture up here, okay? I'll probably put a picture when I post this video of the fruit that you're supposed to eat. And I try to look it up everywhere. I ain't seen it in no grocery stores. You might can find it at like a Whole Food or something, but I seen it on Amazon that you can order it. So it's like a fruit. Then you're supposed to have branches of a palm tree. So I mean, if you don't live in Florida or nowhere where it's palm trees, you could order a palm, like a palm tree branch or whatever the case may be. Go to Walmart and see if you find like a plant that's like got the palm tree resemblance, or order off Amazon. And then these are things you should be collecting before the 15th: the fruit, the branches of a palm tree, and bulbs of a leafy tree, and willows of a brook. So these are also like branches of palm trees and bulbs. So these also like branches and like willow, like leaves that hangs off. These are all trees. You can look up these and order them. Go find them at Walmart, anything like that. Okay. And you shall rejoice before the Father for 7 days. You shall celebrate it as the feast to the Father for 7 days in the year. It is a statute forever throughout the generations. You shall celebrate in the seventh month. You should dwell in booths for 7 days. All native Israelites should dwell in booths. So booths are basically these huts that you're supposed to build and live in for 7 days, are basically tents. How they do it nowadays, they buy tents. They buy these tents. They go to like a camping site or the wilderness, the woods, or wherever the case may be, and they set up these tents for 7 days. They live out of these tents. And so basically you can go, you got to prepare yourself for living out of tents for 7 days. You can go buy blower beds, you can buy a tent, depends on the size of your family. You got 5, you got 10, you can grab a tent that fits 10 people, 5 people, make it what make what fits you and your family. You probably buy like 2 blow up mattresses to fit inside of a 10-person tent, sleeping bags, food, and basically you're supposed to dwell in these bulks, basically known today as like tents. And you're supposed to pray and play games and just be family oriented and worship the Father and be thankful for him bringing you out of the land of Egypt. So the booths, the seven for celebrating before the Father for 7 days in the booths, that's coming up on the 15th all the way to the 23rd. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Ooh, it might be to the 22nd, y'all. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, so the 22nd. I don't know why I want to say the 23rd. I mean, if you extra holy, if you extra serving the Father, you can make it to the 23rd. Because I just say Leviticus 23rd, 23rd. So you could just, to the 22nd is the last day, okay? The 22nd. So from the 15th all the way to the 22nd, you're supposed to be dwelling inside of the booths, which is AK known as tents. And you can set these things up in your backyard. You can go to a campsite. I mean, if you even got to set it up in your living room, whatever the case may be, do what you can do. The Father know your heart, okay? And so you set up these tents and you dwell inside of the tents. You pray. You read about Leviticus 20:23 and other scriptures in the Bible that explains the holy holidays, okay? And so yeah, and so it say, and you should dwell in booths for 7 days. All native Israelites shall dwell in booths, that your generations may be known that I made the people of Israel dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Father. I am Yahuwah, Yeshua, your Father. Thus Moses declared to the people of Israel the appointed feast of Yeshua, of Yahuwah, okay? And so I just wanted to read Leviticus 23 real fast. So like I said, just to sum that up, I don't want to make this video too long. Leviticus 23 states that we're supposed to be celebrating the Feast of Trumpets in the 7th month. And it starts the 7th month of the first day, which is today. And today is basically a day of Solomon rest. And a memorial, just a remembrance of what the Father did, what this holiday represents. And a full offering up to the Father is today, okay? And it's all the way to sundown. And so then you get a little break in. You know, you can still be doing your prayers and things or whatever. But on the ninth evening, at evening, all the way to the 10th to evening is the day of atonement slash Sabbath day, which is a day where you afflict yourselves. Any sins you doing, you don't do anything for that whole evening to evening. From the 9th evening to the 10th evening, you don't do anything. If you don't do anything. Okay, hold on, Bubba. Let me finish this video.
Okay.
And so you don't do anything, okay, on that 9th evening to the 10th at evening. Then you get another little break to, you know, do things or whatever the case may be. But the main core of this whole holiday is from the 15th all the way to the 22nd, okay, which is the Feast of Booths. And that's where you know, for 7 days you dwell in the tents or whatever the case may be. You cook, you do all those things. You have your stuff you collected, crops you collected of the land, and you use those to celebrate before the Father for 7 days, okay? And so this is a holy holiday. I mean, we go out our way to keep all the pagan holidays. Christmas, we go out our way, get outfits. We go out our way so we can go out our way once a year, every year on October the 1st. Well, the main is October the 15th to the 22nd, and buy tents, prep ourselves to live in the wilderness, just in case, like, if the whole system was to fall down, do we know how to live in wilderness? Do we know how to cook? Do we know how to make a fire? Do we know how to survive in the wilderness? If we had to flee from our houses, do we know how? So the Feast of Bosses is basically is a big help to keep us in like steps ahead, in just in case we had to get out here and live outside of these homes, okay? And so basically Leviticus 23:40 outlines the Feast of Tabernacles, also called the Feast of Booths. a feast celebrated after the harvest in the 7th month. The passage instructs the Israelites to live in temporary shelters, booths, made of palm willow and leafy branches to commemorate their time in the wilderness and rejoice before Yahuwah for 7 days. Okay, and so the key aspects of this Leviticus, the Feast of Trumpets, Tabernacles, also known as Tabernacles, the Feast of Tabernacles. The timing is beginning, like I said, on the 7th month of October. The first day of rest being beginning October 10th is the Sabbath day, but it really starts that 9th at evening to the 10th. Okay, is the Sabbath day and the day of anointment, atonement. Okay, and it's that day you should be resting and afflicting yourselves and all that type of stuff. That's one of the main days. The 10th is one of them days where you afflict yourself. You do all what you got to do for the Father. Repent, forgive people, all that stuff. Okay, and it's a Sabbath day of rest, beginning of October 15th, the day of the 7th month, following the gathering of crops. I'm sorry, y'all, I can't read my own writing. All the way to the 23rd is the Feast of Booths. So the 15th and the 23rd, one of the 15th and the 23rd, those are the main days of the rest. So the days you need to know to be keeping of rest is the 1st. You should be resting on this day. The 10th, you should be resting on that day. The 15th, the first day of the start of booths, you should be resting on that 15th. And the last day of booths, you should be resting, which is the 22nd. You should be resting on those days, okay? So the 1st, the 10th, 15th, and 23rd is all important dates of October. And then between 15th and the 22nd, I'm sorry, I keep saying the 23rd. And then from the 15th between all the way to the 22nd, them days between is just a celebration before the Father. Okay? Okay, so in the Feast of Trumpets starts on the festival that starts on the October 15th to the 23rd lasts for 7 days, with the first day being the rest of Sabbath. So I just basically said that. So today is the first day. You're supposed to be resting, no working, praying, afflicting, well, repenting, doing all that stuff. On that 10th day, or that 9th evening to the 10th day, you should be Sabbath. You should be doing nothing, afflicting yourselves, no sinning, none of that stuff, praying, all that stuff. And on that 15th and 23rd through the 23rd, it's the Feast of Booths, okay? That first day, the 15th, you should be resting. The last day, the 22nd, you should be resting. Okay? And I'm gonna stop right here. My phone is going dead, and we at 23, and I don't want to make this too long. But I'm gonna come back on here in another day and explain some more of the Feast of Trumpets, okay? And so we want to sound that trumpet. If you ain't got no trumpet to sound on this day, turn on a YouTube video. Turn on something that shows a sulfur trumpet being blown. Okay, you can look for the sounds. Just sound the trumpet off one of the videos. Read more into what I'm telling you guys. Go to Leviticus 23 all the way to 40 for yourselves. Come out with a plan for you and your families, how you want to celebrate it going forward. And because this is something that the Father said that we must keep generations after generations after generation. Your kids should know, your kid know, everybody should know. This is something that we keep, okay? And it's very holy. And if we can keep Easter, we can keep Christmas, we can go out our way to buy food for those pagan holidays and outfits and the things that you need for us, like Christmas trees and lights and all the ornaments you need to keep Christmas. You should be able to go out and buy the stuff that you need to keep the month of the Feast of Trumpets. And like I said, the main day y'all need to be doing all this stuff for is for the 15th all the way through the 22nd. You need to be finding where you're gonna camp out. If it's gonna be in your house, it's gonna be in your backyard, it's gonna be at a campsite. Is it gonna be you and some more family members? Y'all need to get your tents. However many people in your family, go to Walmart. It's cheap. Go get you some tents. Get lights. Get batteries, hand flashlights. Get blower beds. Get camping gear. Get you a wetsuit in case it rain. Get all the, if you got kids, get them poncho suits, and just prepare yourself so when this day come next year, when this time come next year, you won't be like, oh, what I'm gonna do, I don't got it. Just prepare yourself in advance. Okay, so with that being said, y'all, I love y'all out there. I hope y'all having a restful day, and just loving how this holiday is just such a beautiful thing to keep, and knowing that this is our time of awakening, and we are the branches of the tree. The Most High, He is the, is He the, I can't think of that Bible verse, but the Most High is the, um, He is the tree and we the branches. So, we abide under Him. Okay, we need, if let me put this like this: if the Father is the tree, He is in us, which is the branches, right? He dwells in us, and if them branches was to break off the tree, then you will no longer have the Most High in you. So, in order for the Father to abide in you, you have to be the branches on His tree. Okay? We are the branches. I forget what Bible verse that is, but we are the branches of the tree. The Most High is the tree. He's the source. He's the main thing. He's the plug. And without the tree, we couldn't be branches. Okay, so He that is in us and not he that is of this world. So the Father is in us. Okay, and He is in us in this hour, and we have to make our way back to the tree of life. And by doing that, we got to keep these spiritual holy holidays that they have kept from us from decades and centuries and centuries and centuries. Okay, y'all? So tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your cousin, tell your kids, gather them up, let them know what time it is. Even if y'all don't celebrate it this month, know for next year, October, is the Feast of Trumpets. Read and prepare yourself. And with that being said, y'all, I love y'all out there. And until the next time, y'all already know what it is on this channel. Love and peace. Bye.